Hi everyone, so my channel is all about helping people save money, and whatever little projects I run into, I kind of show you how to do it, or the best way I would do it. And so today is no different. I have a Ford Explorer, you see kind of lifted in the air behind me, and we're going to be replacing this little guy. This is a fuel sending unit, or the fuel pump should I say. And anyway, I got this out of a junkyard. Give me one second. I got this. Can you see that? I paid $14 for it. And there's the company that you can go there and buy it from. But anyway, regardless of where you get it from, the unique things about fuel pump is this. Any country that's got the EPA regulations like we have, they basically, when they park a car in the junkyard, the law says they have to pull out the gas tanks. So the way I look at this is a freebie. They've already pulled the gas tank, so you're just walking around till you see a car that's got one laying in it. And that's exactly what I did. So this is actually, you can go pay $200 for it, or you can go find one laying in the back seat for $15. They're all over the world, all over the country, as far as just saving money on it. That's what I would do. Just, if you're not really into picking parts, pulling your own parts, that's cool. But literally, you can go to a pick your own part place and just walk up there and it'll just be laying there. So, word to the wise, save yourself some money and go to pick a part and get your own fuel pump. Now let's get into what it takes to pull this pump. The first thing you want to do is make sure your pump is bad. Alright, so this little fuel Schrader valve right here, it's real simple. It kind of like works like a valve like your tires got. It's just got a little needle in it. And when you press it down, when you put your key on, it should pressurize the fuel system. So when you push this in, it should be a little bit of fuel coming out. Key note, if you've ran out of gas and you have a little airlock, this is how you would get the airlock out. Just to press that and turn your key on and off 3 or 4 times and it'll start. Just in case, that happens to be the case. Alright. So if you open up your fuse panel up underneath the hood, you're going to notice that you have these 3 relays here. I went ahead and switched 2 of mine out just to make sure. Let me put that back in. But anyway, in a Ford Explorer, this right here is your fuel pump relay. Now you can always take out the AC relay, switch it for the fuel pump, just to see if that's the problem. But I started it, or I turned it on, I can feel the relay engaging. This car has sat for over 1.5 years, so I know that I have a bad fuel pump. So on to... Alright, so the tools you're going to need, I particularly went with a 1/2 inch because, when you're dealing with bolts that are fasteners that are attached to the body, you need to put a little bit of muscle on them to break them loose. So I used about this length and extension just to make it convenient. You're going to need a 13 millimeter, a 17 millimeter socket, and you may need a 17 millimeter wrench. Then you're going to need an 8 millimeter wrench, as well as an 8 and a 7 millimeter socket with a 1/4 inch drive. Alright, so let me get to the first thing you'll need to do. And here we go. Here I've got the vehicle secured on 12-ton jack stands. Any jack stand will work. Just make sure you do it. I actually have 2 of them. If you notice in the rear, there's the second one back there. The fuel pump, the fuel cell is already down, but I'm going to give you the step-by-step blow. This is a very simple process. I'd say we're probably looking at a 3 out of 10 as far as difficulty level. It's really not that difficult. It doesn't take that long. Alright, you can start by taking this rear wheel off. It's going to make things very convenient for you. One thing it's going to give you access to, you see the fill hose. There's actually 2 hoses that this actually goes to. You can barely see that second one back there. See the first one, and the second one's kind of sitting back in its shadow. See if I can kind of... Alright, not doing a real good job of showing you the second one, but there's 2 hoses, the vent and then the fill hose. They actually just take a 7 millimeter. You can take a long extension, take them loose, and they'll probably come off by hand. If not, get one of those hose separators and you'll be just fine. Go ahead and take that off. So the wheel comes off, then take these 2 off. Alright, so here's the cover that's on the bottom. It's made out of a little bit heavier gauge steel to protect the fuel cell. This has 4 13mm bolts fasteners. One is right here. This is exactly how it would be sitting under the car, the fuel cell, and then the car. So you got one here, one here, one here, one here. Pretty easy to manage. You know, it wouldn't hurt to have a second person to help you a little bit, but one person can do it with a little bit of ease. Alright, so you're going to remove this cover, then we're going to go into the fuel cell. Alright, now that you've got the cover off, your next little guy is going to be, this goes underneath the fuel cell, and it's going to hang just kind of like this. It's just going to be, this one bolt right here mounts, and this of course has got a little thing, it just kind of slides in and locks in. So this is your front part. That's the first bolt that holds it. The next 2 bolts that hold it are going to be right here. Now these 2 right here are 17mm, and this one right here is a 13mm. So go ahead and take these first 2 out, and you'll notice that the fuel cell is kind of pushed back up on the lip, so you do have a little bit of support. So take those 2 out first, and then as this right here, before you remove this out, put a jack underneath the fuel cell to help you with the weight, because you don't want this thing just to crash down on you. Transmission jacks are perfect for this. This particular car didn't have hardly any gas in it, so I got really lucky, so I didn't really have to use a jack. But you may be one of those unlucky people that get stuck with a full tank of gas. So no problem. Now, as the fuel cell is coming down, you'll notice it's kind of sitting in the air like this. Okay? So what I did, I've got this end down, and this end sitting up in the air, because you slide it forward and it drops down. So with it sitting up in the air, you will see that the whole unit right here is attached, and it's attached with these little 8mm bolts. Okay? So I just basically removed all of those and slid it up, because I don't want to, when you're underneath it, I really didn't want to fight with trying to get them, because they're 15 years old, so, or it's older than that. I don't even know how old this truck is, but anyway, it's over 15 years old. Those gas lines are tough, so to make things simple, you can just unscrew this right here, and the whole unit just kind of slides out. Now, the thing that bleeds off my evap gas right here, apparently it's broke. It must have, I'm not sure when that happened, but there's actually supposed to be something that sits here, another line, but it just easily unclips as well. And then you have an electrical connection right here. So you would just disconnect that, disconnect this, remove the 6 bolts to go here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, slide it off, and now the fuel cell is ready to come down and be free. Now on the side here, I want you to take a notice here. This is where the 2 hoses go. Let me see the camera. I'm going to put it on my... There you go. So that's the 2 hoses that you have. Oh, and one other little trick that you might want to do. Alright, hold it right there on this gasket. This gasket right here, this rubber gasket, only fits one way. If you notice, there's a big, when you take this off, there's a wider one that goes in one place, and that place is right here. And that's designed so it'll seal really nice and tight. Just to save you a little aggravation for in the future, because if you're not used to that and you just slap it back on, you'll be like, why is this thing fitting? But, and usually what I do is I take a mark, which I guess I didn't do too good of a job because I can't hardly see it now. But right here it is, or was. And my fuel sending unit has the same mark. So when you stick it in there, it all... Now, as you notice, guys, I'm sitting here at the fuel sending unit. This is real easy to remove. It just has a rubber hose on this end. Has a rubber hose right here. And it just pops in right here, and you'll notice a little band with a 7mm on it. So it just holds it in. You just take this off and pretty much just pop it out. So I'm just going to show you how simple this is. This is just going to save you some time as far as unplugging everything and worrying about the fuel line and all that crap. If I can just figure out how to make this work, it'll be good. Alright, so, and now you can put just a regular one on this, like a regular hose clamp. Can you see that? That's the factory they have there. And let's see, I'm probably going to have to, yeah. Can you actually see this? Transpiring. I just wanted to show you how easy this actually is. So I plugged in the electrical connection, and now I'm just going to kind of hope and pray that that works. And it did. And basically it's installed now. So I'm just going to take this little hook it around the side. Of course, when you pull yours off, you'll see it. Now you can actually disconnect the fuel lines and stuff if that's what you want to do. Wow, so this one right here, this fuel pump's a little bigger than it was from the factory. Alright, so that's cool. I'm going to make a little modification for that. So look, the project's done, the car started, 2 thumbs up to me. So look, special notes to you. Less than 20 bucks, a couple hours of time, put that money in your family's pocket, save it for Christmas, whatever you're going to do, treat yourself to a nice dinner. A few hours aggravation, a trip to a junkyard. This is an easy job, guys. Do yourself a favor, do it yourself. Please subscribe, and looking forward to this being a great new year. Any kind of problems with these fuel pumps, give me a call. I'm your guy. See you.